So I'm down with y'all right now.
Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Would like to ask Keith Mumford to come up and do our devotional.
Would you pray with me? Good and gracious God, you've been our help in ages past. We come to you on a beautiful fall afternoon, once again asking for your help. We pray especially for wisdom today. God, that we would make wise decisions that would benefit Erlanger Health System and all the people who are associated here. And in particular, the many thousands of people in this region that Erlanger serves and meets their health care needs. Come and be with us today, we pray. Be among us, direct us and guide us. Help us to make good decisions and the best decisions possible. In your precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Keith. I found out tonight that Keith is from Cleveland, so I have a local Clevelandite here with me and also a fellow Rotarian. So, thank you. All right. Dr. Keys, I think you've got a presentation.
Yes, I'm going to call on our trustee, Linda Mines. She has a special presentation.
Well.
I'm getting my technical orders up here. I think probably most of you are aware that Hamilton County tomorrow at 11 a.m. will celebrate our 200th anniversary as a county. We were chartered on October the 25th, 1819, named for Alexander Hamilton because of the Scots-Irish influence in this area. I'm not sure that you're aware that we are also celebrating an anniversary here at Erlanger, and that's that we technically the gift that was the trust money to create this hospital was given in 1891, and the hospital itself opened in 1899. So we're celebrating 120 years. We had talked originally about going outside to unveil for you something that I'm pretty proud of, both as a trustee and a member of the Tennessee Historical Commission, and that's that Erlanger has been designated as a Tennessee Historical Site, and we have a new marker. All I would say is that when you have time, please, it's out in the circle outside of Dr. Jackson's office. Go out, take a look at it. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is when you look at companies that have been around for a long time, entities, they are constantly updating their goals, their missions, their objectives. We have consistently, since the day we were created as a public hospital. We were created to compassionately care for the residents of this county. 120 years later, we celebrate that we have never lost sight of that mission. We can certainly improve the ways in which we deliver those services, but patient care, patient safety, quality have always been our mandate. And as a county historian, I'm really excited that we are one of the older entities in this county, that we're the largest employer, and that we're here for the public good. So I would love for you to see the marker that is up out on the circle. Letter B. It will be there for perpetuity to remind everyone that we're here for a purpose and that we live every day and act every day on what that original purpose was. So thank you very much.
It's very fitting that you presented that to us.
It's kind of cool.
Thank you. Covering all kind of bases there. All right, we have 2 sets of minutes to approve, one from our meeting on September the 18th, and then also a set of minutes. Do we need to do those separately? Okay, so let's do that first. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the board meeting on September 18th. Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, and then also on the board meeting on September 26th.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, our committee reports, Budget and Finance Committee. Phil, I know you led that.
We had a meeting this week, and our auditor gave us a clean bill of health. And Brett and his staff have done a fantastic job in taking care of our finances and doing it in a very professional way so that when we're audited, it was clean. And we want to thank you, Brett, and for your staff for a fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Thank you to my staff as well.
Let's give you a big hand. Thank you.
Okay, how about planning?
We had a good meeting, and I want to thank Matt for his excellent leadership and vision of helping us plan for the future, and he's doing a fantastic job. And we had a good meeting. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. About a hand from Matt. All right. Gerald, audit and compliance?
Audit and compliance did not meet.
Okay. Sheila's not here. I don't believe legal met.
It did not.
No. MBAC?
MBAC did not meet.
Okay. And executive committee? I think we actually had an official meeting.
We did not, no.
Okay. All right. Britt? You've got two resolutions.
Good afternoon. The first resolution is just a formal authorization of check signers. We have to have this on file with all of our banking partners and institutes, and it just lists the officers that can sign checks. And we have obviously an internal check signing policy of what requires multiple signatures, et cetera. But in this particular, we do have to have this formally available for our banking partners on file with them. So we're asking for this to be adopted by the board.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Okay. And then I have the next resolution, and this is a resolution approving the physician practice plan between Erlanger and the University of Tennessee. So to give you a little background, in 2010, the board approved a resolution establishing the sort of the framework for a physician practice plan. At that point, it was envisioned to be a separate legal entity, although affiliated with Erlanger, but a separate legal entity with Erlanger and UT having some reserved powers within that entity. As we've moved forward in that discussion, it was determined that probably wasn't the right formation for that practice plan. And then when we developed the, in 2014, the new updated UT-COM affiliation agreement, and if you remember, we talked about that, the real thick one, included in that particular affiliation agreement was the vision of revamping the practice plan and coming up with a more modernized approach to that particular facility. And so what this particular resolution does, it sort of takes that 2010 resolution and sort of puts it aside and sort of repeals most of that and determines what the practice plan will look like going forward. And UT and Erlanger both have agreed to these, so these are agreed upon. So it will not be a separate independent facility. It will be wholly owned and operated by Erlanger, and it will be Erlanger Medical Group, that's what it will be. And it will include all the physicians and advanced practice providers that teach residents or are involved in the teaching program. Will be covered by this particular agreement. And the recruitment for a faculty member that is in the teaching program will be jointly by Erlanger and UT as well. In this agreement, all the clinical functions of a faculty member will actually be paid directly by Erlanger instead of currently some of the clinical functions is paid directly by Erlanger and some of it's paid by UT. In this agreement, anything that is clinically related will be paid by Erlanger and on Erlanger's payroll. All the teaching payments will be made by UT to the faculty member. Currently, it's a mixture as well. Currently, some of the faculty members get a check from Erlanger and some get from UT. So this keeps it very clean that Erlanger pays directly to our faculty for the clinical portion. UT will pay the faculty for the teaching. It has been very hard, as you can imagine, to keep that straight. This gets it very clean and clear and to the point. That also defines the different types of faculty members, such as affiliated faculty, a part-time faculty, and a full-time faculty member. This will also say that the Erlanger Medical Group is the exclusive plan for UT in this particular service area. This does take into consideration pre-existing relationships such as surgery, plastic surgery, and OB and GYN. So those will still be part of faculty plans for UT, but those are pre-existing as well. It also establishes a governance council for the faculty, for the practice plan. And in the summary, you'll note who will be on this and how they will be appointed. The idea is to have this effective, January, but have all the pluses and minuses of who's getting paid by what done by March 1. It has to be budget neutral, so we're not adding any cost, and nor are we deleting or eliminating cost. Erlanger is still supporting the teaching and academic mission 100% as we have in the past. So this is in no way is a reduction in the program or non-support. It's just getting it in the right bucket, so to speak, and coming up with appropriate protocols to doing this. So in essence, in summary, it will be wholly owned by Erlanger Medical Group, which exists today. It establishes the governance of that Erlanger Medical Group, and it also determines or sets up the definitions of faculty members and who pay. Erlanger will pay for 100% of the clinical work. UT will pay 100% of the teaching. And that just makes it much more clear, because in the past it was a mixture, and it was very confusing to a lot of people. And this really clears it up, and we're both UT College of Medicine and Erlanger are in agreement with this amendment. So that's sort of the summary of it. I'll be happy to entertain questions.
Dr.
Yes.
Shack, do you have any viewpoints to add to that, or
Oh,
I know
no,
you've been
thank
involved
you.
in it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, but the University of Tennessee leadership, including Chancellor Schwab and Dean Strom and myself, have met for 2 years, literally. Well, I think it's going on 2 years, on a weekly basis to hash out all the details of this new plan moving forward. We finally came to a complete agreement just a few weeks ago, and so I think that it's time to move forward with this. The university, the College of Medicine, is very supportive of this new entity and this new method of reimbursement for the faculty and the members of the Erlanger Medical Group, and I think it will work out better. It gets everything in the right bucket, as Chancellor Schwab likes to say. And so I think it'll be a good move. It's budget neutral. It doesn't cost Erlanger any more money. It doesn't cost the University of Tennessee any more money. And then moving forward, as deployment efforts may shift, we can make shifts in the reimbursement for the faculty. If they increase their clinical load, if they increase their academic role, whether it's teaching or research or whatever it may be, we can adjust their salary accordingly along the lines that will be established as far as deployment of effort is concerned.
Good.
So I think it's very good.
Good.
And the university is wholly behind it.
I have a question. Reading the report, it says the Erlanger Medical Group is 300. I thought we were 400.
Well, I'll have to defer to Will on that.
Yeah, the report itself, that was what we'd crystallized before that went to the UT board, so we wanted to be fair in terms of making sure it was consistent. Our medical group is right around probably 425 to 450 now, Phil, if you include all advanced practice providers and physicians.
So why do we have 300 in here?
Again, it was because it was essentially from when we, as Bruce said, this has been going on for 2 years. We'll refine and make sure it's there.
Yeah.
It's just the medical group is going over the duration of negotiation. So I appreciate you raising that. It is inaccurate, but in spirit, where we need to be, it is still consistent with either way, regardless of the number of members within the group.
I'm just glad to hear both sides have come to an agreement, you know, because like you said, this dates back.
Well, again, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Dr. Shack and
Right.
his team, Dr. Schwab, Teresa Hartnett, excuse me, are part of the team, and then Britt and Jeff have been just doing yeoman's work for the past 2 years. So again, it's the leadership in this room that brought it to fruition.
All right, so we need to take a vote on this?
Yes, please.
I move that we approve the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Brett.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'm speaking with Dr. Angle because of his role as president of the university.
Right.
He's not here. He asked that the record reflect that he was not here
Okay.
and did not participate.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't either.
You did not participate in it either. Kidding. You know the record that Dr. Burns
Oh, okay.
abstained from the vote.
Well, let's talk about that because that only gives us 5 votes.
It's a
Oh,
quorum. It's a
oh, because you
quorum.
took the 2
Yes.
out of the equation. Okay, great. All right.
Thank you.
Everyone should have received the new committee assignments, I think mainly adding John Jerm.
Good about this, yeah.
Is that right? That was the biggest difference. And does anyone have any questions about that? Do we need to vote on that or not? Okay.
We do need to vote, don't we?
What is,
Have to vote on that, right?
we do have to vote on the committee assignments.
Okay, so they don't have these in front of them, do they? Are you?
Some do.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that? Is everybody in agreement? I think we pretty much added,
John didn't.
I think we pretty much filled in John where Henry was in a lot of cases, but,
That we officially made for smart chair of Jim Sattler, vice chair.
that's right. Yeah, Phil's now the chair of budget and finance, and Jim Sattler, the vice chair. Those are the main changes. Any comments? I'll take a motion on that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Do you want this? I mean, do I need to sign it? Okay, Dr. Bolton, do you have a report?
No report from the medical side.
Okay. And Dr. Shack?
Very briefly, yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to express my personal thanks and appreciation for the hard work put out by the Erlanger leadership over these past several months leading up to this affiliation agreement, and I want to thank the board for their support as well. Next, as you all know already, I think there's a week from tomorrow, there'll be a reception for all of our most recent new chairmen. There's 4 of them. Plastic surgery, Mark Brzezinski, OBGYN, Steve DePasquale, family medicine, James Haynes, and orthopedic, Scott Steinman. That'll be at the Walden Club from 5 to 7, or 5:30 to 7:30, something like that, next Friday. But you all should have all received an invitation to that, and I hope you, as many as possible, will be able to attend. And I also want to make a comment regarding Dr. Burns. It was mentioned, I think, at our last meeting, but it's very important. Dr. Burns is being awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the American College of Surgeons. And this is a very substantial award. It's not given out every year. It's only given out by merit, and he certainly merits that. And so I want everybody to be aware of it. Also, the University of Tennessee College of Medicine is going to give him a special medallion noting his many years of support for medical education across this entire state and across the nation. So congratulations, Dr.
That's
Burns.
fantastic.
That completes my report.
That's awesome, thank you. Congratulations again, Phil. All right, Dr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few comments from me tonight. First off, I want to address the board, the management reorganization. Obviously, it's been a very tough week for Erlanger and for those involved. I think we've tried to handle everything as best we can with respect and dignity for those that have been impacted. But needless to say, it's very difficult for the enterprise, and I'm hopeful that this will make us stronger over time. I would be remiss if I didn't thank our human resources team that has been involved with a lot of these things. Floyd Chase, who's in the audience in particular, for his leadership of that area. And I do want to thank all the associates who have been involved, particularly at the leadership level, with friends, with colleagues, with people that they've worked with for years, for people maintaining their professionalism and trying to keep the focus on what matters for Erlanger during this time. And it is my intention and the leadership's team intention that this week is not going to be in vain, and that we're going to use this to become streamlined and lean, and that we're going to make the organization better over time. I'm going to withhold any other comment on that in the public forum, but again, I do want the board to know that this was not taken lightly. A couple other things I want to speak to. We did achieve our DNV certification for primary hip, knee, and ankle replacement. This is based on the guidelines of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, and this recognizes excellence in patient care and outcomes. And we have an exceptional orthopedic program. I think everyone knows that. But as always, it's due to people. It takes leadership. Alan Bible, Chris Warner, who are the administrative leaders in that area, Dr. Mark Freeman, who is our medical director over orthopedics, the entire team. We have superb surgeons. We've got great support staff. We've got great nursing staff that helps us with our 6-floor outcomes, and each one of them is to be acknowledged for the great work that we've done. This is just, again, another, I think, legitimate recognition of the great work that we do here. Relatedly, our orthopedic symposium is this Saturday. This is a regional symposium where our faculty from the orthopedic group speak, and we get hundreds of attendees to come. I believe it's at the Westin this Saturday, and this takes a lot of planning, but over time we've built this up given the excellence of the program. Again, I'm proud that we're going to be putting that on. And then lastly, many of you may have seen during the Best of the Best, Erlanger East, our maternity award out there, won for the 12th year in a row the best place to have a baby. Jan Keys and I went out there probably, I think it's 5 to 7 days ago, thanked the staff. Again, it takes leadership. See Josephson, who's over our women's across the system, and the superb nursing staff and obstetrician gynecologists that we have out there. This doesn't happen by accident over 12 years. You could say 1 or 2 years, but a 12-year run is essentially Lou Gehrig-esque, and we're very proud of what they've done out there. So my accolades to them.
How big are they versus Baroness?
So their unit from a delivery standpoint is not as big. It's probably what we talking 40 to actually higher than that. Our overall deliveries is probably 30 to 40% of our deliveries.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a very busy unit. And again, the outcomes there, the engagement, it's superb.
That's great.
Mr. Chairman, that's my report.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for all, I know this has been hard on the whole executive, or the whole administration, and I appreciate all your hard work and the difficult time. Okay, we've got one more thing. Next month, we will have the board officer elections. And I'm going to just read this. Pursuant to Article 5, Section 2B of the bylaws of the Board of Trustees, the board is authorized and obligated to elect from among its members, its officers, executive committee for the upcoming calendar year. At our meeting on November the 21st, the board's current officers will present a slate of candidates for consideration for chair, vice chair, and for secretary. So as set forth by the bylaws, the board is authorized to accept or reject and vote at its annual meeting next month any or all candidates recommended. So what I need everyone to do, we've always customarily submitted nominations to the board secretary. So these will need to be sent to Linda Mines, and you can, if you would like to, you don't have to, it's not required, but if you'd like to, you could send her, you could nominate one for one position, or you could nominate for all 3 positions. And then whoever's nominated in there will be put into a slate, for nominations, for voting, and we'll do that next month. So I'll ask board meeting next month. Just saying.
Counting down.
Not counting. Okay. And that meeting will be on November the 21st. All right. Does anyone have anything else for the good of the order? If not, we're adjourned. Thank you.